The pitch is looped towards shortstop. Petroselli's back. He's got it. The Red Sox win. And he's pandemonium on the field.
Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, brought to you each week by the National Sports Collectors Convention. Join us every Wednesday evening at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and get the latest news from the greatest experts in the sports collectibles world. You can watch us on the Great American Collectibles Facebook page, as well as YouTube, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. And now your hosts, award-winning sports collectibles author Tom Zappala and Boston radio personality Lou Blasi.
Welcome, everybody. High above courtside, Tom Zapp, broadcasting from the 18th floor of the Phoenix Towers in beautiful Singer Island, Florida. Brian Drent, Mile High Card Company, is in snowy Colorado. You're in Colorado, Brian, right?
I'm in Colorado, but it's not snowy today.
Really?
It's about 60.
Bob Broadwater from Philadelphia, Collectibles Insurance Services, and our near and dear friend, Lou Blasi, from our studios just north of Boston in beautiful downtown Methuen, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Hey, Louie, how you doing?
Very good. How you doing?
Good. Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show. Tom Zapp. Rico's off this week. Louie is in this week, which we love. Don't forget now, by the way, we've said this over the last couple of weeks. We are actually broadcasting live now, starting this past January at the beginning of the year. However, at 6:30, we're still advertising and marketing that you can watch the show at 6:30, because at 6:30, either myself or Lou or Rico, we're on the computer chatting with people. So you can tune in really anytime you want. We are on every major platform you can think of: YouTube, Facebook Live, Pandora. What's that woman's name? Alexa, Spotify, all of that good stuff. So we're all over the place. And Alexa, shut off, please. Alexa,
you triggered Alexa. Yeah,
really. All right, we got a lot to talk about. Bob's going to be with us for most of the show. Brian's going to be with us for the first segment. Brian, first of all, you have an auction ending tomorrow night, man. Is this the biggest auction in the history of Mile High?
Well, in terms of lots, maybe. I mean, we have about 3,500 lots, but it's a really interesting auction just because it's so collector focused in terms of set builders. We're breaking a lot of sets. They're actually going both ways, but 51 Bowman set, high grade, all graded, 55 tops, 56 tops, 59 tops, 68 tops. That's a spectacular set. And they're all 8, 9, and 10 kind of sets, and then 56 and 57 football. So it's a very collector centric. I guess they all are. I mean, that's what we do. But this is really geared for set builders, and then obviously we have some high profile cards as well.
1,700 cards from the 50s. I counted.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, isn't it?
It's nuts. And Bob, by the way, jump in. We're going to be all over the place. Bob, you're a collector, right?
Yes, I am.
What do you collect?
Actually, model trains.
Do you really?
Very
And
cool.
some airplanes as well.
really.
There's old cast iron Lionel train sets,
Man.
Union Pacific trains.
All right, so I got a quick question, just a quick train question for you. When I was a kid, my father could not afford to buy us a Lionel train set, so he bought us an American Flyer train set. Is that like Avis and Hertz?
Yeah, honestly, if that's in good shape today, it'd still be great to have.
Really?
But yeah, the cast iron ones, particularly the Lionel ones, are the ones we see. They've held their values and been great to have over the years.
Nice. Hey, Brian, tell us about the 1909 E92 Cross Candy Tie Cobb.
Sure. I mean, that one's graded a PSA 6. It starts our auction off. For any caramel candy card of that era to get a card graded at that level, I believe it's I think it's one of only two off the top of my head, but that's a card that is just, nobody's going to have the opportunity to acquire that kind of card, especially in that grade going forward. So
I don't
be
have that
interesting to
card
see
in
where that
front of
ends
me.
up.
Is the image on that card? Is it the same image as the T206? I can't remember.
No, it is not. No, it's a yellow background and an image that you really don't see of Cobb very often at all.
Really, Louis?
Yeah.
In this auction, Brian, or in auctions in general, what's the percentage of people who are collectors who are turning over items, or people who are found an item or have come new to an item and just trying to figure out what it's worth and trying to make some
Yeah,
money?
it's a great question. I would say the vast majority, whether it's our auctions and or our competitors' auctions, are collectors that maybe they've decided to go in a different direction, maybe tried to, they acquired an item that was really pricey and they've decided to move some material to kind of finance that, versus somebody that just out of the blue finds something, whether it be cards and or memorabilia, and that's really fresh to the hobby. When that does happen, that's why you see some prices that are extraordinary on that fresh to hobby material.
Interesting.
So you get a
Hey,
lot of phone calls of what's this worth?
Yeah, we always get those. We always get those. And usually we know once in a blue moon they stump us.
Hey, Bob, just kind of piggybacking what Brian is saying, what do you see from card collectors primarily? Is it more vintage than modern? What do you see, or is it a pretty good mix of both?
It's more vintage than modern, and what I was going to ask, and something we've seen more of in recent years, was less. We still see most of our customers are still avid collectors with a passion for the hobby, but we've seen a growing number of folks who are acquiring cards simply holding as an investment, alternative investment vehicle. Less personal interest, and more, to see what happens and possibly flip those cards. I wasn't sure, Brian, if you're running across that as well, with some folks coming in from that
Yeah, a
angle
lot of our
of investment.
customers, I mean, they're absolutely, I think all of us to a degree, for the vast majority, have that collector gene, whether it's in sports or like Bob with trains or whatever it may be. So they definitely have an interest, but in today's realm, you have to have an eye towards the investment side. We do absolutely encounter people that really everything is geared towards an investment, but usually it's a little bit of a marriage of the two.
But
It's
Bob, I'm sorry, but
Go
Bob,
ahead.
with investments, with these people who are using these as investments more, are they still keeping the cards in the house?
Not often. That's how we typically know. They'll put them
Yeah.
in safe deposit boxes.
And or
Really?
vaults.
Yeah.
Oh, vaults, yeah.
Or vaults, yeah.
It's interesting, Brian, talking to the people at PSA over the last week or two.
Mhm.
You know me, and you're the same way. We're vintage people. I think Lou's a vintage guy, but there's been that whole modern influx over the last couple
Sure.
of years, and it seems as though, based on what the people at PSA are telling us now, these young investors who, Bob, that's, I think, who you're talking about, the people that are really kind of flipping cards or holding them on for short periods of time and then selling them. A lot of them now, a lot of them are gravitating towards vintage now because the light is starting to go on. They don't. A lot of the younger people are still not familiar with the Al Kalines of the world or the Ernie Banks, but they do know the names Root, Cobb, Wagner, and those young investors now are kind of evening out their portfolios. I guess that's what we're saying. But again, what they're telling us is that they're holding on to the vintage. And they're doing exactly what you're saying, Bob, with the modern cards. Those are the cards that they'll buy, hold on to for a while. The chase cards, looking for that one of one LeBron James card, and then grabbing it, holding on to it, and then flipping it. Brian, you don't see much of that on your end though, do
You know,
you?
we absolutely in the past 4, 5, 6 years have we include, you know, we have some really nice Otani cards in this auction, and we have some modern stuff, even some Bo Nix, just for you, Tom. And so, you know, but our basis is absolutely vintage, and we do see some of the younger collectors that they've gotten into collecting, whether it be LeBron or Jordan or Otani or Mike Trout or whoever it might be. But then it's really easy to gravitate to Mantle, and then obviously Ruth and Cobb and Wagner, Koufax, and that's, I think they're able to realize a little bit more stability there, and that makes, you know, them feel good about the hold.
Do you think that's a fair evaluation of the two markets, Brian? Is it kind of a NASDAQ Dow type of situation
I think
where,
so,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, there's blue chip stocks, and then there's tech stocks,
yeah.
you know, and the vintage is like a blue chip, and it just gives you a lot more assurance of long term value.
Bob, let's talk about. I mean, there's been a tremendous, and it goes part and parcel with, you know, the values of cards and what's happening with the values. Theft, is almost running rampant now in this hobby. Every day you go on Sports Collectors Daily, Brian, and every day
No,
there's an article about someone being arrested or someone being broken into.
shop that got broken into. It's disgusting.
Absolutely. I was just reading today about a woman yesterday in LA. She got caught trying to sell fence $10,000 worth of stolen cards.
Hmm.
My question to you, Bob, are you seeing an influx in theft insurance?
Very much so, and much of it is targeted to our sports and trading card audience. That's just where we're certainly seeing the highest frequency. What's newer in this space, or at least new in the past several years, is we're seeing our sports dealers targeted much the way jewelry stores or convenience stores have typically been targeted. That wasn't always the case with sports dealers, not to the same extent, but now trading cards, people recognize the value. So we've seen the common smash and grab. We've actually had a few folks have cars driven through their front door of their store, and the package thefts. That's rampant, and that's with everything, but certainly we see it here. It's probably one of the highest selling points of our insurance is recognizing that not only the package, but also more and more we've had dealers be followed and their car broken into. So it's definitely, you know, that awareness certainly needs to be there, that people know now these values that aren't necessarily directly tied to the hobby, and unfortunately will steal them.
Okay, Bob, how do you deal with the obvious challenge there, which is with dealers, the inventory is changing constantly, the value of the inventory is changing constantly, cards come in and out all the time. How do you cover them adequately and deal with that volatility?
It's a great question. So as part of the process, when dealers come to us for insurance, we could talk to them about how they maintain and track their inventory. And for a long time, some of those processes weren't that sound. We've seen dealers become much more sophisticated with tracking that inventory and managing that because they recognize can be a fast moving inventory. Some dealers obviously do better than others, but we do ask what tracking mechanisms are in place for inventory held on hand, how it's cataloged, where it's stored, when they're attending a show. Do they document out what they're bringing, and kind of what they come and leave with, basically, so that we know, should something happen in one of those intermediary steps of transporting those goods, what documentation did they have to show what they had on hand.
Unbelievable. Hey, Brian, you have a Cobb with the NBA Silver Diamond. Can you explain? I know Mike, good guy.
Yeah.
What the NBA Silver Diamond is?
Sure. So I believe you're probably talking about the T206 Cobb, the red
Correct.
portrait in a
Yeah.
NBA 7. So, and that's a great question because I don't think a lot of our customers and a lot of collectors in general understand this right now. That card in particular, when a card's in an NBA holder, the highest sticker that it can be placed on it for eye appeal is actually the silver sticker. They don't put gold on their own NBA holder. So that is for exceptional eye appeal. And if you look at the card, I forget what lot number it is, but you look at the T206 Red Portrait Cobb in the NBA 7. I mean, quite literally, you're not going to find a nicer card graded near mint 7. I mean, it really, stacks up against most any near mint to mint card. And it's been recognized with that silver label. Now, cards that are in PSA as well as SGC and Beckett holders, they obviously can get gold label, the gold sticker, and then cards that have been graded 10 can actually get the black diamond sticker.
Right.
But
So,
cards that
it's
they've done and they've graded in their own holder, the highest sticker they put on it is a silver.
right. So it's important for our collector audience here to understand that MBA, they will also take a third party grading like
Correct.
PSA and put a sticker on it.
You're just putting
So
the sticker on.
right. So it's not just that MBA is another third party grader. They will actually, I mean, they will put that sticker on. It could be an SGC, it could be a Beckett, it could be a PSA.
That's
Great.
correct.
Correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. You've got some other great stuff here. You've got a 55 Bowman Mantle PSA 8. That's a great card. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm glad you
ahead.
recognize that one. It's a card that, oftentimes, not that it's not a fabulous card, but we put it up in the gallery section, and it's obviously got nice value, but we recognized it just because the card was so nice for the grade.
Right.
Obviously, it's the TV design. That's the dark mahogany, and obviously, that without question, it's easy to recognize wear on the corners on that card. And this one just really is a very high level PSA 8, and it'll really fit nicely into somebody's collection.
We are chatting with Brian Drent from Mile High Card Company, Bob Broadwater from Collectibles Insurance Services. Brian, you're going to stick with us for a few more minutes, if that's
Yep,
okay?
I got a couple more minutes for you. I
So-
do apologize, but
No problem.
Brian,
So-
let me ask you about the roster on a given auction and how you manage that. In other words, will you be reluctant to put two really high-end cards or two really high-end items together?
Yeah.
Or is there a process to managing that roster?
That's a
Yeah,
great
absolutely.
question. Hold on, Lou, are you talking about two different cards or the same card from two
No,
different?
two different cards. In other
Okay.
words, if there's a 7-figure card in the collection, you might not want to put two up in the same auction because
Yeah, well, that's a good question.
limited amount of
I mean,
money.
that'd be a nice problem to have, obviously. But
Okay.
but no, to answer your question, Lou, if we had two bat off shoulder Ty Cobb PSA 8s, we're not going to put those in the same auction.
That was my question too.
But rather, if we have 264 Sandy Koufaxes in a PSA 8, which is a fairly common card, and more often than not going to sell for almost nearly the identical kind of money, that's another question, and we would be okay with that. But if they're real higher profile cards, we're gonna let our consigners know, hey guys, we really appreciate it, and wish I could take that one, but I've already got a Koufax rookie in an 8 or a Clemente rookie in an 8, and I don't think you want to put yours in this auction.
Tom
Go
brought
ahead,
up the theft. Tom brought up the theft issue. Has that creeped into your working here in terms of determining ownership more strongly? I'm guessing a lot of the people that you're dealing with in these auctions, but sometimes the card comes in. Do you have to be a little more cautious about where it came from and whether they actually own it?
It's come into play a couple times over the years. I haven't seen an increase in it where somebody does consign something that they might not have rightful ownership of. We've had a couple instances and we've been able to unwind that. So, one thing that we do is we do monitor message boards. So if people are posting about collections that have been stolen and items in those collections, and then we get offered an item like that, we're really on top of that, and so we'll be aware from that standpoint.
That's a real interesting point, Brian. Bob, does photo matching come into play with you guys when you're insuring something or there's some theft? I know photo matching is huge now in the hobby. Does that play into with you guys at all?
To a certain point, yes. Certainly higher valued items, we do that. And also, I want to reiterate, we also keep a close eye on high profile thefts, whether it's from a show or a dealer that's a customer of ours or one we hear about. And we do look out for those cards to make sure on the other end of the spectrum, it doesn't then become a part of insurance fraud.
All right. That's a whole.
But yeah, we photo support and photo matching is something we do ask of our customers.
All right. I think what we're going to do is, Brian, I know you have to go. Brian, when does the auction end? Tomorrow?
It ends tomorrow, which is the 15th.
Yeah.
You can go to www.milehighcardco.com. Like I said, there's a little over 3,500 lots. I think there's, believe it or not, 31 or 3,200 PSA graded cards in this auction.
Crazy.
So there's a tremendous amount, and there should be something to satisfy about every collector's desires.
Okay, Brian. Listen, thanks for jumping on board. I know you have to run out. Bob, you're going to stick with us for a few more minutes?
Yes.
Now we got to talk insurance. I mean, you got to have insurance. And by the way, Brian, you remember you did the voiceover for Collectibles Insurance Services.
I did for quite a long time.
Right. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Brian is leaving us. Bob's going to stick around. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
That's it.
Stay, Brian.
I'm Rebecca Curry, a two-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petroselli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
Let's go! Batter up! Hi, everyone. This is Rico Petroselli. JustCollect.com, a leader in the vintage sports card industry, is giving free appraisals on your vintage cards. They'll evaluate your collection for free and let you know the value of it at no cost and no obligation. If you're ready to sell, JustCollect.com will offer you industry-leading prices to buy your card collection. To begin your free baseball card appraisal, visit JustCollect.com or call them at 732-828-2261. That's JustCollect.com for your free vintage card appraisals and top buy prices for your cards. Check out JustCollect.com today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
With record-breaking sales from everything from the white border T206 Honus Wagner for $3.12 million to some great items that support the Jackie Robinson Foundation, Golden Auctions has set the highest standards for the finest in sports cards, autographs, and game-used memorabilia. We're always accepting consignments of high-end premium sports treasures or entire collections. Please register for our next auction and bid now at goldenauctions.com. That's golden with an I. We at Golden Auctions are committed to providing unsurpassed customer service for the discriminating collector. That's exactly why we're the leader in the industry. Visit goldenauctions.com or call 856-767-8550. Remember, Golden Auctions. We don't just break records, we shatter them.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Okay, we are back. Tom Zapp, Lou Blassie, Bob Broadwater from Collectibles Insurance Services in the house. We're going to get to Bob in a couple of minutes talking about insurance. And listen, we try to drum this into your head. I know I have friends that have unbelievable collections and they're not insured, and I'm always hopping on them. You've got to get them insured. People are starting to gravitate towards you more and more that listen to the show, but I can't stress the importance of having insurance. But we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But right now it's time for another Crackerjack moment brought to you each week by our good friend Paul Borges and PB Collectibles. Go to pbcollectibles.com for that special vintage card at an amazing price. Crackerjack book. You can get it signed. We signed a bunch of them. They're discounted. We went through all this. They found a couple of cases in the warehouse. We thought they were long gone, but they're not. This week, we are talking about one of my favorite players in the Crackerjack collection, Smokey Joe Wood. Had it not been for an injury-shortened career, Fireballer Smokey Joe Wood would be a lock for the Hall of Fame. The hard-throwing righty had an unbelievable 34-5 record in 1912 with a sparkling 1.91 earned run average and led the Red Sox to the World Series championship. Wood started in the series posting a 3-1 record. He is credited with the win in Game 8 when Giants outfielder Fred Snodgrass dropped the fly ball that ultimately lost the series for New York. The Snodgrass muff will forever be remembered as one of the biggest blunders in baseball. The 1912 season also saw Wood participating in one of the most legendary pitching matchups of all time. On September 6, 1912, Smokey Joe Wood faced off with Washington Senators ace and future Hall of Famer Walter Johnson at Fenway Park. Wood pitched a masterful two-hitter, and the Red Sox won 1-0. Legend has it that Walter Johnson once commented there was no man alive who threw harder than Smokey Joe Wood. Tragically, Wood injured his thumb and arm in 1913, and although he had winning records over the next 3 seasons, he was never the same pitcher. Wood's 15-5 season in 1915 with a league-leading 1.49 earned run average helped lead Boston to another pennant. The Red Sox took the series, but Wood was not a factor in that postseason game. After sitting out the 1916 season due to salary disputes, Wood was sold to Cleveland, where he promptly injured his arm again, causing him to miss most of the 1917 season. He converted to the outfield in 1918, stretching out his career for a few more seasons. Wood played in the World Series in 1920, helping the Indians best the Brooklyn Robins to win the championship. After batting .297 and banging out 150 hits in 1922, the 32-year-old Wood abruptly announced his retirement. He coached at Yale University from 1924 to 1942 and lived to the ripe old age of 95, becoming the last surviving league player from the dead ball era. And that's another crackerjack moment.
All right, to take advantage of this find of these extraordinary books and get a great bargain, in the meantime, go to tomzappalamedia.com/crackerjack collection to order your copy of the Crackerjack Collection, Baseball's Prized Players. This great book will give you a glimpse into the personal and professional lives of the players in this iconic collection. That's the Crackerjack Collection, on sale now at 30% off the regular price. tomzappalamedia.com/crackerjack collection.
You know, guys, I had the pleasure of way back, going way back, Lou, when the T206 book came out. We used to go to we still do, go to the show in Wilmington, the Shriners Show. And Smokey Joe Wood's son was a dealer there. And he was a nice guy, elderly guy. And he used to, he was really big on selling Smokey Joe Wood signed checks. He had hundreds of them, and he used to show up there every year. Nice guy. All right, let's get to some insurance talk.
What do you think the Snodgrass muff rates on the Aaron Judge muff?
That's a good question.
It wasn't as critical. The Snodgrasses was more critical, but still.
Right. Yeah, that one cost them. I mean, the series. But yeah, it's a good point. All right, let's talk about a couple of things, Bob, regarding you guys. You know, we talked about vaults earlier, that if some collectors are now storing their goods in vaults. Would you guys insure those vaults if asked?
Yes, we are seeing that more and more, certainly with the higher values, but even some of the newer folks into the space as well that are utilizing those. We will insure those cards. We'll add the vault as one of the locations and where it's stored. But we do, we certainly support that because, again, of the methodology around safeguarding those. It's a better risk from an insurance perspective.
Well, that's what I would think. I mean, rather than having them in a shoebox under your bed, you're probably better off having them in a vault or a safe deposit box in the bank. What about deductibles? How does the whole deductible thing work with collectors?
So our standard deductible for collectors is $50. If it's a dealer, it's $500, but for a collector, it's $50. Many select that. Some of your more larger collections, in terms of value, they'll opt for a higher deductible, and much like standard insurance, they've received a discount for that. I should also add on the prior point, if they're utilizing vaults, they also receive a discount. So that is something to keep in mind. That, again, recognizing the better risk discounts applied.
Louis, did you have a question?
Bob, as a preface to these questions, I used to date an insurance adjuster and did storm duty with her quite a bit and loved the hell out of it. If I could have climbed roofs, I might have done that job.
I remember her, Lou.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember her.
A couple of trips that were great, including Singer Island, by the way. But
that's right. I do remember that.
Another time. But inventory fascinates me with this because And you talked about fraud. People are going to come to you and say they have X amount of cards, might even come with an inventory list to you, but do you verify the actual existence of these cards at any point in this process?
We do. We ask, as a condition of the coverage, they're required to maintain evidence of ownership. That can be, and we ask for pictures of the cards and an inventory list. Obviously, anyone can make up a list, but we do ask for pictures of the cards and how they're stored within their home, store, safe deposit box, etc. Some of these collections are very vast. We certainly don't expect a picture of every single card's corresponding value. But the higher valued ones, we will ask for support. Recent transactional records, if it's something that's been acquired, if it's something inherited, more difficult, we will ask for how they're demonstrating the current value, usually a reference to one of the many valuation tools out there or marketplaces, and a photo for support. Doesn't cover all fraud. There's always a little that will get through, but it mitigates much of it.
We did one house that actually had a baseball card collection in it, and Tom, we went to Phil Castanetti and did
really?
an evaluation there with the inventory list. But first of all, you have to make sure that the card actually existed. Secondly, you have to make sure it was lost in whatever the incident was, because they could pocket it and just claim a loss here at this point.
They do. So one thing we don't cover is just mysterious disappearance. If it's stolen, typically there's some evidence of a break-in, there's a police record. It may be just grabbed from a backpack at a show. Typically those have cameras and we're able to catch and see that. We do the investigation to the extent possible, and most of the time we're able to show that something was indeed stolen, or at least there's evidence of a theft. If it's someone, and we've had these calls, they simply misplaced it, then that's not something we covered.
With dealers with shows, because we've had this in the past with some security issues at shows, does their existing insurance cover the show, or do they have to buy additional insurance to cover their trip to the show?
Good question.
Perhaps the biggest selling point, the two key selling points of our coverage for dealers is coverage is extended to their inventory in transit and while at the show, and shipping coverage, all the items they mail out. But the coverage in transit, especially during show season, we do have dealers reach out to us and adjust their inventory, their policy limits for what they're planning to bring to and from the shows. So as long as it's with them or with one of their authorized representatives, coverage applies at the show.
What about for your average collector? I have 10 cards worth 10 grand that I want to send to Brian Drent to auction off. Are my cards covered in transit from my house to Brian's to Colorado?
They are. The limits for collectors are typically lower than what we offer dealers. Dealers have more flexibility to buy higher limits, but for collectors, we'll offer as much as $50,000 in coverage for the transit and shipping exposures.
What about natural disasters? I live on the river. River overflows, wipes out my collection. Is that covered?
It is covered. And I'll touch on a couple points there. Why, from an insurance perspective, why this is a great business is because people go to great lengths to protect these items or, other things they own, even their cars, but certainly other personal property. People want their items. They don't want to check from an insurance company. So if there's an impending storm, wildfire, folks will usually take the steps possible to protect their collection. Obviously, can't happen always and doesn't happen with everything. Yes, we cover fire, flood, loss, accidental breakage, all your standard causes of loss that can happen while in a home. But with this business, I would say we see a little bit, not a ton of that, because of the lengths folks go to protect their collections.
All right, let me give you an opportunity to educate the people watching the show now who are saying, my home insurance has got this for me. They got me covered.
That's unfortunately almost never the case. These items, home insurance covers personal property like couches, electronics, clothing. They'll look at what you had at time of loss and depreciate those values. They will almost never extend coverage to collections, and they certainly won't extend it to the current market value of those items. So they may offer a small sublimit, but they'll depreciate it, which we know doesn't apply in this space. So for a much lesser cost than homeowners insurance, they can have the peace of mind to cover these items to market value.
Hey, Bob, we deal with, over the years through the show, we've dealt with many private collectors that have just crazy collections. Have you ever dealt with someone that has a $15-20 million sports memorabilia collection?
We will write collections as high as 10 million. That's the upper end of our limit. And generally, no individual items worth more than $1 million. There are some exceptions to that, and we do have dealers that have inventory in those spaces, as well as some personal collectors. Once they get above that, we do have partners we work with.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. So let's talk about the Ruth Caldshot jersey that was sold for whatever the hell it was sold for, $24 million. So if I own that and whatever, and I want to get it insured, you would hand it off to one of your partners because of the value of it?
We would recommend, based on what it is, we would recommend a partner for any of those. We do see a little bit of that in sports, a little bit of that. We also insure art. Those are the spaces where we hit those values. But unfortunately, the vast majority are not that. But unfortunately, we would do what we can to help that person find coverage. Yes.
Louis?
You mentioned some people would, hopefully people with their collections are putting them in safes, in vaults or safety deposit boxes or things like that. And I know there was some, I don't know if they still exist, Tom, and there's still some of those vaults going around for collectibles.
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, PSA has one. They have a huge vault where you can send your cards to PSA. I mean, if they're high dollar cards, PSA will grade them and put them, show you the grades, send you images of the grades, and they'll store them for you. And right in their own vault, right at PSA. Yes, a lot of companies are still doing that. And actually, it's becoming quite popular, Lou, to be honest with you.
Bob, are those people adequately covered, or do they need additional insurance to fill some gaps?
They're adequately covered in one of two ways. Depending on the value, we can extend coverage. A lot of times, in that case, PSA has their own coverage that will apply to the items they have in their vault. We see it with Beckett too.
Yeah.
They also have one. And again, depending on the circumstance, their coverage could apply or our coverage. But we do see that, and we do insure those cards.
Hey, Bob, before we let you go, what about loss in the mail? I go to mail out some cards and they get lost.
Yeah.
Is that covered?
It is. It's probably the most common loss we have.
Really?
Is the shipping, and that also is part of the peace of mind. Folks feel pretty good when it's in their possession, but you have no control over what you order and is being sent to you. We cover that even if it's
getting worse,
missing or taken off your front step.
What was that, Lou?
It feels like it's getting worse too. It's like the Wild West. Everyone's
it's crazy.
Pictures of the delivery and saying, "Does anybody know this house? I don't know where this got delivered."
We do ask, for the maximum coverage to apply, we do ask where possible that items are ordered with a signature required. Not always available, but if possible, we do. That's preferred.
Let me ask you. You got to have some great stories. What comes to mind first about some great losses or claims that you've had to deal with?
Yeah, we've seen some unique things. Some of the high profile ones recently, we've seen the show thefts, and what's been interesting about those is a few of them were these were professionals. There was a coordinated effort of multiple people involved, so much so the FBI was involved because they were involved in thefts of other things. What's impressive is some of the stuff we've been able to get back once the thieves have been caught, but the coordinated theft rings and higher profile criminals targeting sports shows, that wasn't always the case in this space, and we're seeing that more. We also, another one, folks need to be careful. We see theft of baggage at airports. Again, people are sometimes identified and followed when they might not think so, and we've seen bags taken at airports and again caught those people on camera in some cases and been able to return those items. But it's something, for everyone just to be aware of, that
Right.
it can happen anywhere.
Did anybody's dog eat a mantle or anybody's wife spill some tea on
One quick story.
Sure.
We have seen exes steal items of value. It's happened several times where people break up. The ex still has a key to the place, the code to get in. They go in, steal the stuff, and sell it.
Unbelievable. But it's interesting, Lou. I would think, and I know it happens every day now with shows, some guy steals a card. If the card is in a PSA holder, it's got a certain number on it. So obviously they go right to PSA, and that card, I mean, how can you fence that card? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, you're not, if you're going to break it out of the holder, then it becomes a raw card, and it's even that much more difficult to sell because, most raw cards are very difficult to sell because, a lot of them are fakes. Anyway, I just think it's, there are some safety things in place, but Bob, you must see everything, every typical angle of cards, getting insured and getting damaged.
Well, let me ask you this, because Tom, you brought it up at the shows. You see these young kids who are selling cards and trading cards, and they're walking around a lot of money, which is obviously they're vulnerable, a lot of cash going on. If a dealer goes or a insured collector goes in with a card to a show and sells the show for cash, is that cash covered when they leave?
Good question.
In transit?
They would not. No, not in that case.
The coverage just follows the card, right?
Yep, the coverage just follows the item.
Yeah, interesting.
Wow. Bob Broadwater, man, it's been really eye-opening for you to come on today, and I really appreciate you. You were supposed to be on for like 15 minutes, and I'm glad you stayed on because you're educating, the viewers, the listeners, and Lou and I. People, I can't stress, if you don't have insurance, you're playing with fire. Where can people contact you guys?
Collectinsure.com, or just Google Collectibles Insurance Services will come right up, or Sports Collection Insurance will come right up. And they can get a quote right online, reach our team, and our team's happy to learn about what they have and provide a quote for coverage.
Awesome.
Bob,
thanks again. And listen, hopefully if you're at the National this year, you got to stop by and come on the show. We'd like to, because again, people find it very informative.
No, so let's plan on that.
All right. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We come back, Lou. Lou, I want to talk a little baseball, a little football. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, it's fine by me. Be
All
great.
right. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
I'm Rebecca Curry, a two-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free, integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petroselli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectibles Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on their tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Hey, I'm Mike Petroselli. If your company is looking for the best in marketing and promotional items, you'll hit a home run with Petroselli Marketing. With over 8,000 suppliers and 650,000 imprint-ready items, we can get your company the visibility it needs to get your maximum exposure. Whether it be office promotions, wearables, automotive, sports items, and everything in between, Petroselli Marketing can do it all. Our design staff will even work with you from concept to delivery and customize your products. At Petroselli Marketing Group, we will get your brand in front of your audience. Contact us at info@petrosellimkt.com or call us at 603-880-3202. That's Petroselli Marketing, where no dream is impossible.
Okay, we are back. We've got a few minutes left. Now, when we were talking to Bob Broadwater, he was telling us about some of the insurance companies that they partner with.
Yeah.
And one of the insurance companies that he partners with has been with us for just about a year now. They work with each other. That's why we have them both. And that is the Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency, Louis.
Well, the Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency has been insuring collectibles since the early 80s. The late Tom Finkelmeyer wrote the original sports memorabilia insurance policy when no one else in the industry was insuring sports collectibles. A lifelong collector of sports cards, Tom Sr. instilled the love of collecting to Tom Jr., the current president of Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency. Tom Finkelmeyer Jr., with 3 decades of insurance experience, has paired that expertise with 50 years of collecting. And with a litany of professional designations, including counseling and risk management, Tom covers every aspect of your collectibles insurance needs. Unlike some companies that sell collectibles insurance directly to the consumer online, Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency is the only independent retail agent who specializes in sports memorabilia and collectibles nationwide. Representing all major companies that sell collectibles insurance, there's no agent that insures more collectors, dealers, appraisers, auctioneers, or events in the collectibles hobby than Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency. Good friend and hobby legend John Tobby of JT Sports used Finkelmeyer Insurance for over 20 years. For more information, go to thefia.com, thefia.com. That's Finkelmeyer Insurance, where collecting is our passion.
Again, excuse for the coughing. I've had a cold for 10 days now. 9 days now,
You
but it's getting better.
Escape to Florida and get a cold.
I know that. I tell you, the only thing that makes it feel good, that I feel better, is my one martini at night at 5 o'clock, and I think vodka has medicinal qualities.
I think alcohol has medicinal qualities.
Right.
I think it absolutely does.
Hey, listen, what do you think? Let's talk about a couple of things. We got a few minutes. Patriots this week. Who do you like?
I like the Patriots. I'm nervous about the Houston defense, which is really good. It's playoff football, and even more so right here, it comes down to turnovers. If Drake May can control the ball, he took a couple of strip sacks last week that were kind of questionable. He's got to learn to swallow the ball and take a sack every now and again, and he's going to be facing a fierce pass rush. You saw what happened with Pittsburgh is they gave points to the defense. They gave points on a short field. The Houston offense couldn't do anything. So, and Pittsburgh made it gave points to them with turnovers. That's what the Patriots have to avoid doing.
I could be wrong. Maybe I'm a little naive, but I went into the playoff season not hoping. I said, look, the way I'm looking at this season is the Patriots can win the first game in the playoffs. I'm really happy. After that, they're playing with house money.
I agree.
That's kind of what they're doing now. I think they're playing with house money. Nobody expected them to go this far. What about the Super Bowl?
I see this game as winnable, so I will be disappointed if they lose it. It's not like they're in over their heads. Offensive line and turnovers, that's going to be the big thing.
Yeah, the kid Campbell, he got a lesson last week, didn't he?
Yeah, but and I'm trying not to hit too hard on him because he's playing.
Oh no, I love the kid.
Pretty good player.
I love the kid. Yeah. Before we switch to baseball, what's your prediction? Who do you like in the Super Bowl? Who do you like to win the Super Bowl?
It's tough because Philly was a good team, right? We thought Philly was a really good team. Seattle is just tough to call. It's almost got to be Josh Allen's year, doesn't it? It almost feels like he kind of smells it.
Something? I was saying the same thing. He's the guy, they had such a disappointing regular season, but he steps up, man. And it would not shock me at all if they went all the way.
I mean, all his ghosts are gone. He
Yeah.
does not, in his mind, there's probably nothing between him and in the Super Bowl win he's been looking for. And like I said, he seems to be smelling it right now. So
I
it's
couldn't
kinda,
agree with
so let me ask you, would you rather play Denver in Denver next week with a win, hopefully, or have the Bills come to Buffalo? Because it's tough because I don't want to face Josh Allen.
I agree with you. Both teams are
I don't
really
want to go to
good,
Denver
but
either.
I was praying that the Pats were not going to face Josh Allen in the first round because
Yep.
there was a possibility there. To answer your question, definitely play Denver. Play him at Denver. I don't care where you play him. Try to stay away from Buffalo. Totally
That's
agree.
been a horror. Denver has been a horror show for us, even in the Brady era. So it's
I
tough.
know.
That's a little painful. But Josh Allen
Six-
kind of scares me right now.
Yeah. What about the Red Sox, Lou? Now that they crapped out on Bregman, what do you think they do?
I'm so disgusted.
Oh, and you know something, to our Boston fans, I love you guys, but I would be 1,000% shocked if Bichette signs with them.
No.
The only reason being is because I think, forget the 300 million, the fact that he was always the second fiddle, I would tell them to go, you know where.
Yep. Yep.
Right?
I'm as happy as I am with the Patriots, and I feel like a fan. I'm almost giddy. I'm trying to tamp down my enthusiasm about Drake May and the Patriots. I'm so disgusted with the Red Sox. And it's not so much the way they've handled the offseason and what they aren't doing. It's the way they talk to you while they're not doing it. Right?
Absolutely.
It's just like, listen, there's a collective bargaining agreement negotiation coming up. John Henry's going to be huge in it. He's going to want to control costs. If he doesn't want to sign a guy for 8 years, Bo Bichette, by the way,
Yeah.
if he doesn't want to sign that, and that's his strategy, that's fine. Just don't tell me different. Tell me that's what's going on. Right?
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do now. I mean, they need a third baseman, Marcelo Meyer. I'm not sure he's ready.
I'm not
They
sure
need a
he's ready.
second
And what can he play? 80 games, 90 games? How much can we
Exactly,
expect out of him?
exactly. You know who's going to? I mean, if they do nothing this year, you know who's going to really become prevalent in that starting nine is Gonzalez. Is that his name? Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Romy
Gonzalez.
Romy Gonzalez. I'm telling you, he's going to get a lot of playing time, but he's still not the answer. You know, he's still not the answer. Anyway,
Well, at least we'll get to see how things expand with Roman Anthony, and that's something we have to look forward to.
yeah, I think I would throw. I said this. I said this a couple of weeks ago. You know, they haven't traded Duran, which is good, I think. So I think their outfield should be Duran. What's his name in right field? What's his name? Abreu and Anthony in center, and move Rafael to second base. Keep him at second, make him a second baseman, and then hopefully
That's tough because I don't know what Roman Anthony would be in center. And
well, put him in right. Well, so then put him in left and put Duran in center. That's fine too. I have no problem with that.
Rafael or is Jackie Bradley Jr.
There's no doubt. I totally 1,000% agree with you, Lou. But you can't make any one of those other three guys infielders. At least Rafael, he's in the lineup. He's a good second baseman, but you're giving up a really good defensive center fielder. I totally agree.
Yep.
All right, I think we're just about out of time. Yankees still suck. I think we all agree that the Yankees do still suck.
Well, wait a second. What do you think the odds are? The Red Sox could finish fourth in the division. You understand that?
Oh,
right?
easy. Totally agree. Totally agree. You know, but again, you know, it's still not too late if they can pull off one move. You know, I'm not totally unhappy with their offseason moves. I really am not. Sonny Gray, I mean, he's at 3 or 4. The kid Avedo, I think his name is, he's got some real potential. They're really high in him.
You're gonna need Bayo to step up, and I'm not sure he's mentally capable. And I just think he gets rattled really easily.
I agree with you.
Not
But then again, you've got the other two kids. You know, Bayo is really a number 4. But, you know, you don't know.
He's going to have to be better than that in this.
Right. But one of those two other kids, Peyton Tolley or the other kid could step up too. You don't know. It's a crapshoot. All right, Lewis.
Tolley's your 7th inning guy. He's going to be a reliever. He's going to be a high leverage reliever.
Yeah, he probably.
And I love him.
Yeah, he can throw. All right, we're just about out of time. Good show today. Our special thanks to Brian Drent from Mile High Card Company, Bob Broadwater from Collectibles Insurance Services, Louis, you're going to be working this weekend at the casino. So you're going to be, wait a minute. So you're getting paid
I'm
this
getting paid
week
to watch the Patriots.
to watch the Patriots at the casino.
Yep.
How can you go wrong, man?
No,
How can
it's
you
great.
go wrong?
God
All
bless
right.
America.
With that being said, we love you guys. Thank you for the support and happy collecting.